What's up, guys? Welcome to another Hour of Devastation draft. So here we've got a pretty sweet rare, Adorned Pouncer. I've died to this card many times, but I've never been able to open it. So I think we're going to be taking that card. It's just very powerful. 5/5 double strike, and it's also card advantage. Aside from that, Ominous Sphinx is very strong. I actually really like Riddle Form, but it only works in a particular, like the blue-red spells deck, or maybe blue-black, like a controlling deck. Other than that, there's not that much exciting. I guess Hashep Oasis is pretty good, if you can pick up enough deserts. But we're going to take the Pouncer here, and keep in mind that there's some good blue. Yeah, so mostly just good blue in this pack. Maybe some good white, but pretty happy with this as a first pick rare. This makes me want to prioritize equipment a bit more. Ooh, okay. So now we have an interesting pick. So I think it's between, for me, Sand Strangler is very, very strong. And Open Fire is, I think, objectively worse than Sand Strangler. But it's more universal in that Sand Strangler only works if you have deserts, whereas Open Fire will just always work. I think this early in the draft I can pick up deserts. And this card, I mean, when you get deserts, it's just Flame Tongue Kavu with more toughness. So we're going to take this and probably not wheeling Open Fire, but yeah, Sand Strangler is just really strong. Yeah, so we need to prioritize picking up deserts to make him turn on. I'd like to have at least 3. But even if I only have like 1 or 2, I think I'll probably still play it. Just because when it happens, it's just such a strong upside of a card that it's worth doing. With no deserts, I think it's just pretty bad. 4 mana 3/3 isn't too great. Okay, out of this pack we have Hour of Promise. Sweet rare. I don't think it's as good in limited as it is for constructed. Eternal of Harsh Truth is really strong. Firebrand Archer is okay. It's just kind of medium. And maybe like a Dauntless Aven is the next best pick. So what I'm thinking about doing is Eternal. I think Eternal is the strongest card in the pack. But I already have 2 very strong cards, and I don't really want to be 3 colors. So I think I'll probably let the Eternal pass. I'm just deciding now between Dauntless Aven and Firebrand Archer. And I think, when in doubt, my usual go-to is just to pick the cheaper card. These two are kind of on the same level, as far as power level, but if I have a bunch of 2-drops, that's not a problem. And if I end up with just a bunch of 3-drops, then I'll be kind of sad. So I took the Archer. So here we have a desert that we can take. And this one's actually quite good. Just pumping your whole team is very strong. And alternatively, we can just take a Kenra Scrapper, who I actually like a lot. This Menace is very annoying, and hitting for 4 is also really strong. So I think I'm kind of torn here, but I think I just need to aggressively pick up deserts to make Sand Strangler good. And this is one of the ones with a higher upside. And I can always pick up a, Sand Strangler later probably, whereas this is probably the only time I'm going to see a Shafed Dunes. Okay, so this card's only good if you have like a Planeswalker. I had an opponent in one of my sealed rounds grab a Gideon with this guy, so that was pretty sweet. Here, so we have some 2-drops. I think Frontline Devastator is good. It's pretty expensive. I kind of like it better than the Thorned Moloch though. Let's see, this is a 3/3 that can get bigger. This is a 2/2 that pumps itself. And then there's also just like a Grizzly Bear. First strike when it's attacking is actually pretty strong as well. I think I'm gonna stick to my plan and take the cheaper card. I know that these are easier to pick up, but we're looking to be pretty aggressive as it is. And so it's a pretty nice pickup there. So here, Appeal to Authority is good. We're not in green, and I don't see a reason to, switch over now. I I think right now it's between the Grizzly Bear and the Desert, and given that we have already 2 Desert Matters cards, we just need to take these pretty aggressively. Unfortunately, we haven't seen many white cards, so we only have the Adorned Pouncer as our white. So maybe this would be a splash, but it's kind of unfortunate that the deserts we have been taking have been in white. Wow, more deserts. People undervalue these, so I think I'm going to take the red desert. We seem to be more red-based. Blur of Blades is okay, but, I mean, with 3 deserts, we're pretty strongly... the Sand Strangler is going to be pretty good, and Shafet Dunes might do some work too. So I'm going to take the red desert. Okay, here we have Gideon's Defeat is a very good sideboard card. Sunset Pyramid's good if you want to go for the late game, and then Active Heroism and Defiant Kenra are both just fine. Given that we have... Let's see, what if we do this? And we just have like a sweet late game deck? Because I think the Pyramid, well, I guess it's, I'm biased from Sealed. I think we're just going to take a 2-drop though. Given that we have Desert of the True, we can just pump our creatures so much that I think it's better just to have a lot of creatures, then we can kind of flood the board. So here, it's probably just the Steadfast Sentinel. It's not an amazing card, but it's in our colors. Yeah, so we're going to get a lot of Grizzly Bears. Well, these are pretty late. Kenra Eternal and Bone Slasher. I feel like those cards are halfway decent. I'm going to take the Kenra Eternal. I'm probably not playing it, but I actually might play this Dagger. This Dagger is pretty good with all these 2-drops we have. And particularly good with the Adorned Pouncer. Just hits so hard. So, I like that pickup. Cards I would like to cut. I'm not too impressed with Disposal Mummy in like a not zombies deck. So, probably I don't want to play that. And I'd like to upgrade some of my 2-drops. I mean, like, I'd much rather have a Gust Walker than this Defiant Kenra. And maybe a couple more deserts. The red uncommon desert would be pretty strong. The one that lets you hit them for 2 damage. That would give us a pretty good late game. But as it is, I'm pretty happy with this deck so far. We have at least 2 very powerful cards. And this Dagger makes a lot of our smaller creatures pretty big threats. Yeah, this is just Windmill Slam Sand Strangler. Definitely much better than our rare. Foil Chandra's Defeat is cool. And then on the wheel of this pack, there is not much for us actually. So I might take like Inferno Jet or like a Chandra's Defeat, but yeah, Sand Strangler is really strong. Now I think I want to pick up at least one more desert, just to make sure that our Sand Stranglers get there. And here we have Sunscourge Champion, I think is the strongest card in our colors. And we'll probably wheel this Firebrand Archer. So Active Heroism is also a consideration, but this card's pretty strong. Gaining life and then coming back as a 4/4 is pretty hard to beat. Wow, we're seeing a lot of blue. So it's possible we should have switched to blue. I think the determining moment was when I took, what was it? It was like, I think the Firebrand Archer or something over the 3-drop draw card when he is unblocked. But I think this is just how the packs go, not necessarily what people are taking. We're just going to take another Firebrand Archer. They're pretty medium, but actually, do we want this wall? Because, like, we don't have many instants or sorceries to go with these archers. And we're going to pick up more. No, I think I just want a bunch of 2-drops. Wow, these packs are just flooded with blue cards. But Steward of Solidarity is really good, especially in this deck. The Exertability combos pretty well with the Shafet Dunes. It's a really good 2-drop, 2/2, and you know, if you can't attack with it, you can just start going wide. So I really like this pickup here. Yeah, I think we'll just take another one. We don't really want The high toughness, Hazard's Undying, Fury seems pretty not playable, but Double Steward's very good. So I think those packs were just very heavily full of blue cards, but I think we're still in the right colors. We're gonna pick up the Camel here. Actually pretty decent if we can get even like one more desert. So I think I'm gonna take deserts pretty highly still, at least for the next one. And then after that, with 4, I'll be happy. I mean, I'd still take more. But it's possible I should have been the one that taps creatures for any color. Maybe I should have taken those more over like these Defiant Kenras. But I don't hate where we're at. We're just set up for like a pretty good low to the ground aggressive deck with 2 Sand Stranglers, which is insane. And this dagger, I've never tried it out, but it seems okay with all these small creatures. So Manticore Eternal, 5/4 Afflict 3. It seems very strong. Probably better than the Steadfast Sentinel. Pretty good just like top end. Hits for a ton, hard to block. At the very least it's a 5 mana Lava Spike, which is okay. But you know, the upside, if you play this, it hits once and then they have to block it again. That's really good. That's for 8 damage for 5 mana. Yeah, so we have quite a few playables going into pack 3, so we can be a bit picky. If I see probably one more desert, I'll take it over like a mediocre 2-drop. These Double Stewards I really like. So I need to see if I can get any like untap effects. I think it's Dauntless Haven, the one that untaps when you attack, is really good with this card. Because you just exert it, make a token, untap it when you attack, exert it, make another token, and you just build up a huge army with just 2 cards. Okay, here we have Defiant Kenra versus Mummy Paramount. I think this card's strictly better. What does this do? Leave the chance seems quite bad. So I think I'm going to take the Mummy Paramount. We have some Eternalize and Embalm cards, so it could be a 3/3 at some point, and we have a million Defiant Kenras. Wow. I think we're in the right colors. I think this was like all of the cards in this pack in our colors. So that's really nice. I think out of this pack, I'm between Chandra's Defeat and Act of Heroism. We have like very little removal, so I think picking up just a really solid sideboard card is more valuable than like a medium combat trick. Yeah, so now we can get our Act of Heroism. I'll probably play it, but the thought process was, what's here? We'll take the Wall. I'm not going to play this Renunciation. The thought process was like, this card is insane in the matchups I bring it in, whereas Act of Heroism is just like fine in all matchups. But this is a much more replaceable card, whereas I think this card, when in the matchups I want it, it's going to be very good. Just 1 mana, 5 damage. It's really hard to beat. Notably, it can do 5 damage to a red Planeswalker, so we can kill a Nicol Bolas. Maybe I want to play this in Standard, I guess. No, I'm just going to cut white. A lot of Frilled Sandwallas. Take Dutiful Servants. Grizzly Survivor, sure. So blue dried up pretty quick. Because, I mean, there was just so much blue. But I think a lot of people are drafting blue, which is good for us because we haven't even picked up a single blue card. Only 3 deserts was the minimum of what I was looking to draft. Okay, so out of this pack, Anointed Procession. That goes very well with these Stewards of Solidarity and these Eternalized cards. But it's kind of like hit or miss. Unwavering Initiate is just always going to be relevant and always going to be good. Trueheart Twins. Whenever you exert a creature, creatures get bigger. I think I like the Initiate better still. This card's a 5 mana card. Again, when in doubt, just pick the cheaper card. Playing your spells before your opponent is a huge advantage. And It's looking like we're not going to play that many lands anyway, so we might not even want 5 drops, whereas this card is just very powerful, low to the ground. Ooh, Irrigated Farmland Foil. That's a sweet card. Oh, it's not a desert. Okay, I thought it was a desert. It's not. So I think I'd probably just pick up another Initiate and maybe hope to wheel this Jarrow's Resolve. Yeah, that seems fine. This card's just good. What is this? Plus X plus O, where X is its power, and then a creature gains double strike. That card doesn't seem that good. It's a oh, it is an instant. But I don't have that many big... Like, this is good at, like, if you played on him and then you hit for 10. But I don't really have that. Maybe I just pick up this Painted Bluffs to make sure my Sand Stranglers come online, because I already have 20 playables. Although this might wheel. I think this might wheel. Maybe I'll take Vizier of Remedies. And hope to wheel the Painted Bluffs. That might be greedy, but... You know. Oh, there's another Onward to Victory. Ooh. Okay, now it's between Bloodlust Insider and Cartouche. I think the Cartouche is probably better, especially in this deck. First Strike's very relevant. I don't think I want to play this wall. And, you know, putting it on our 1/1 creatures makes it a 3/3 First Strike, which is so much more powerful. I do like the Bloodlust Insider. I think it's quite good. Especially if you can play it on turn 1, then every turn you're just attacking a turn ahead of your opponent. But I think this Cartouche is good enough. Especially with the Shafet Dunes. We can just get a lot of value that way. Here, I think we're just upgrading 2 drops. I think Nefcrop Entangler is just better than Defiant Kenra. And definitely better than a Firebrand Archer. And we're missing out on like a Jarrow's Resolve. Ronus's Monument is good, but I think I'd rather just have creatures. Here, ooh, we can get a Bloodlust Insider, perfect. We don't have enough zombies for time to reflect, and I think Anointed Priest is just pretty mediocre, so I'm going to take this Bloodlust Insider and be pretty happy about it. I mean, just think of the blowouts. You can play Sand Strangler, kill their creature, give it haste, attack, like that's so good. Yeah, I'm just going to take another Nefcrop Entangler. Just a bunch of 2 drops, it's really hard to go wrong. There's also Thresher Lizard, which our hand can empty, or our deck can empty its hand pretty fast, but I think this card's quite strong. Just a 3/3 haste trample is pretty good. So I think we can start cutting. We have 24 playables. Probably the first card I'll cut will be this Manticore Eternal or the Steadfast Sentinel. Ooh, Binding Mummy's nice. Yeah, we have a couple Eternalized cards. I think it's better than taking the 3-drop. So Binding Mummy's great. This deck looks very consistent, that's for sure. I'll take the Anointed Procession. I might not play it, but you never know, it could be good. So Binding Mummy makes me glad I have this Mummy Paramount. Unwavering Initiate still seem good. Sunscourge Champion seems good. Solitary Camel. Maybe this Thorn Moloch isn't good. We don't have many like our deck is yeah, 22 creatures. So right now I'm cutting these. And probably the Steadfast Sentinel, I don't really like it that much. And our deck's very low to the ground. So if we can play like 15 lands, I'd be pretty happy about it. Here I'm going to take Jarrow's Resolve. Again, we're just trying to stay low to the ground, and 1-mana cards are so important. Sparring Mummy is just so mediocre that I don't think we're going to play it. Inoketra's Name. Let's see. I think that maybe we want to play this. We don't have many zombies, but +1/+1 to all creatures is kind of nice. Especially when we're playing 19 creatures right now. I'm not sold on that card, but it's definitely good. I want to pick up that desert that I passed. It probably didn't wheel, and I think I was probably too greedy and I should have just taken it. Ooh, okay, Bloodlust Insider is also quite good. So I'm going to take that one. Wow, I think I really like this deck. I think I'm definitely playing this... Okay. Probably won't play 2 Jarrow's Resolves, but if my opponent has a very similar deck, maybe I'll play it. It's pretty good with the exert creatures. I think I might play an Innoketra's Name, but I need to count how many mummies I have. Or zombies. So I have Binding Mummy, Mummy Paramount. And those are the only zombies that aren't from Eternalize. And then I have Unwavering Initiate, both Embalm. And this cat, wherever he is, Adorned Pouncer, also comes back as a zombie. If I have the spot to play it, I will. But this deck looks pretty sweet. I think I like it a lot. Okay, so we're gonna cut lands. Right now we have 25 lands, or 15 lands. I think I want to play 16, especially we have some lands to cycle, so flooding isn't so bad. And we're gonna get value out of Shafet Dunes for sure, because just pumping our whole team is great when our deck is almost all creatures. So here are our spells. Maybe I do just cut Innoketra's Name. It seems just okay. I'll probably side it in on the play. Actually, yeah, that's what I'll do. On the play, I'm going to side Innoketra's Name in for Jiro's Resolve. I think it's just better if you're trying to swarm your opponent out. But in the dark, I think Jiro's Resolve is pretty versatile. Although, maybe not. We have a lot of cheap plays. Innoketra's Name just pumps the whole team. It can lead to some really big blowouts. Steadfast Sentinels, Anointed Procession, Jiro's Renunciation, Godpharaoh's Faithful. This is tough. Yeah, so the decision I'm making is between these two cards in the main deck. I think, or maybe I cut Active Heroism and play Jiro's Resolve, Innoketra's Name, because Active Heroism's good like if one creature gets blocked by a big creature, but Innoketra's Name is good, you know, if you want to trade a 2-drop for a 3-drop, but then also you just get in a bunch of extra damage outside of that. I think that's what our deck wants. Is we're not going to win a super long game, but we can definitely hit hard and early. So yeah, Innoketra's Name, I think I'm sticking with that one. So we're going to play these in 16 lands, and sorting by color, group together. We have Bloodlust Insiders that we want to play on red, but we have more white cards. So I'm going to look at the curve again. Sort by CMC. So I think I'm just going to play even red and white sources, even though I have more white cards, because these Bloodlust Insiders on turn 1 are very important. So with 13 lands, actually, yeah, 16 lands, so we have an even amount of each, which seems good to me. Alright, this deck looks great. See you guys round 1.